In this assignment, I'll be covering the effects of physiology of someone depending on their age and how it can affect the physiology of them and their life. There are a number of ways that age can affect the function of the body systems, and that it can help or hinder the body to function overall. These systems include the skeletal, cardiovascular, endocrine, muscular, and respiratory systems. All these systems combine to do their individual roles for the body to function. If one of these systems fails or has an issue with it, then it can massively affect the body depending on which system it is, and it may even become a hindrance for the person for the rest of their life if it is severe enough. There are also stereotypes about this, like older people can only run, for example, as one. These stereotypes are technically not true. However, running is very common for older people to participate in. This is because older people are more susceptible to various health conditions such as osteoporosis, which is where your bones are extremely weak and it is agony to do virtually any weight-bearing activity when it affects you. Therefore, older people jog or run since it is a weight-bearing exercise. This is why it is crucial for people to participate in weight-bearing activity from a very young age so that they don't get a health condition such as osteoporosis in the future. Aging is the process of getting older, and this can be there are two different variants of aging. The two different types of aging are biological aging and chronological aging. Chronological aging is just someone's actual age in numbers going up, so their actual age. So if you ask someone how old they are, that is their chronological age. However, on the other hand, the biological age is the effect that aging has on someone's body and their body systems. It primarily refers to how healthy the physiology of the person is and how it could potentially affect them in the future. An example of this is someone's chronological age was 70 years old, but their body systems are all functioning perfectly with no issues, and their muscles and bones aren't showing any signs of weakening anytime soon, and that means their biological age could be about 50 potentially. This could be down to a number of reasons, such as they may have participated in plenty of weight-bearing exercise when they were younger, meaning that their muscles, bones, ligaments and tendons will always have had a way of strengthening and staying flexible as well. Had they not have done this weight-bearing activity, it could be a different story for them. Their biological age could have been 85. This would have, however, this would have meant that so if their biological age is 85, then it would have meant that their body systems were not up to would have acted in a manner that is and have been damaged potentially to the point where their lungs, for example, are working at the same efficiency as someone who is 85 when they are only 70. There are differences between younger and older participants physiologically because their body systems could mean that their chronological age is completely different to their biological age, meaning that their body systems are either in good condition for their chronological age or in poor condition for their chronological age. Firstly, the skeletal system. The skeletal system is composed of bones, joints, tendons and ligaments. The 6 functions of the skeletal system are to support movement, protection, production, storage and regulation. The skeletal system supports the body in ensuring that the structure of the body is secure and there is a base foundation for the body before you put the muscles, etc. in. There is a base blueprint for the body, which is the bones. Otherwise, you will not be able to stand up without them, and because the base structure of the body is the bones, so without them you would be a blob on the floor. The next function is movement. The skeletal system allows your body to move by using the joints as well as the tendons and ligaments connecting everything together, meaning that is possible to move because of this, as well as the bones being able to take impact whilst moving, which means you can keep moving for a longer period of time. Protection is the next function of the skeletal system. This refers to the fact that the skeletal system protects the vital organs within the body, such as the heart, brain and lungs, etc. This ensures that they do not get damaged in any way and will always stay healthy as much as possible. Next, production refers to the production of red blood cells, where they are created, and the fact that they can meet the demand of the working muscles to help to keep them working healthily and not go anywhere that is dangerous potentially for the participant. The production of the red blood cells will also mean that they will be able to stay. It will be a benefit because they will be able to potentially stay healthier for longer if they have fully functioning production systems. Finally, the regulation of the body of the skeletal system is the monitorization of various parts of the body, meaning that it will keep the body as healthy as it can naturally, as it can vary between changing temperature, as an example, and also so it can change the temperature of the body depending on what the body feels, and the skeletal system will protect all of these. The skeletal system will protect all of these organs and different parts of the body to help them function to their and perform to their best, and the skeletal system is basically guarding them to ensure that they can carry on doing this for as long as possible. For younger performers, they should do as much weight-bearing activity as possible because this is what strengthens the bones in the body by increasing bone density. This can only be done by doing weight-bearing activity and to keep the bones active, and by utilising them continuously to strengthen the bones, which will benefit them massively in the future of their life, because if they do not do much weight-bearing activity, it can mean that your bones do not have the chance to strengthen often, and they'll become weak and frail, and there will be a hugely increased chance of getting health conditions in the future, where the most likely one to do with this is osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is more likely to occur in older people. This is because usually older people's body systems gradually start to deteriorate naturally anyway, with the hindrance having not done much weight-bearing activity, exercise when they were younger. They will find it very hard to make up the amount of weight-bearing activity they missed out on when they were younger. This means that once the skeletal system starts to naturally deteriorate, they will be affected by it even more so because of the lack of weight-bearing exercise they'll be able to do due to the pain it will be causing them. The next body system is a cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system is thought of as the transportation system of the body. This because its primary function is to perform gaseous exchange. Gaseous exchange is where oxygen and carbon dioxide are both transported around the body to separate destinations. The oxygen that is inhaled in every breath will be transported towards the site of the working muscles and be delivered to the working muscles to make sure they do not get damaged whilst exercising. As well as being able to meet the demand for oxygen from the working muscles, it is crucial that they also take away the waste products. This is all done by the hemoglobin within the blood binding together with the particles of oxygen and then being distributed to the working muscles, working muscle tissue, where there will have been a build-up of waste products, primarily carbon dioxide, within the site of the working muscles. When the hemoglobin has delivered the oxygen to the working muscles, it must then take away the waste products from the working muscles by binding with the carbon dioxide particles and transporting it away from the working muscles, ready to be exhaled. Then the cycle endlessly repeats whilst exercising especially, and it is also crucial it does so. It is vital that in exercise, particularly since muscles will be working much harder than normal, meaning that their demand for oxygen will also increase because the muscles need to be as fresh as possible to continue on with the exercise to prevent them getting damaged in any way. When exercising, the heart rate increases to be able to meet this demand by the working muscles to ensure that there is no damage that occurs to the muscles themselves. The cardiovascular system is made up of heart, are made up of the heart as the focus point of it, the blood vessels, and the blood itself. The heart is a focal point, as I said, and it is the focal point of the entire cardiovascular system and is what it's built around. The heart pumps the blood around the body constantly at different rates depending on the demand for oxygen by the muscles. The blood vessels are what they act like roads in a way, and I mean this by it is what the blood travels through. So, and the blood eventually gets to the destination, which is the working muscles. So, if you imagine that the heart is the start off point, and then the blood vessels are the roads to get to the working muscles, which is their destination. There are 3 types of blood vessels. These are capillaries, arteries, and veins. And they all do various jobs, but they all carry oxygen. They all carry blood, no matter what they do. And it varies between oxygenated and deoxygenated, whether it's going to the working muscles or from the working muscles. Finally, the blood is a fluid that contains all the components to make up the blood, such as the oxygen and the rest of the body's nutrients. Younger participants should be exposed to a lot of activity no matter what it is, providing that it is some sort of exercise, because it keeps the cardiovascular system working regularly, ensuring that the heart gets periods of working fairly hard, so it has a much higher chance of staying healthy. Doing regular exercise, particularly when young, can potentially reduce the risk of developing heart disease or having heart attacks. It does this by increasing the efficiency of your heart, lungs, and blood vessels. This will allow for the cardiovascular system to transport more blood in a lesser amount of time. Doing it when young will reduce the risk of the health issues for your life and benefit you in the future. This is because for older participants, it is more important to carry on with the exercise, particularly cardiovascular exercise, because it will maintain the efficiency and health of their cardiovascular system for as long as possible to benefit any sport they try, and will also benefit their everyday life. Through the aging process, maintaining the heart and efficiency of the cardiovascular system is critical to living a healthy life. Because during the aging process, it does become more and more difficult to do exercise as you go through the process, because of the natural deterioration of some of the body systems that it entails.